Greetings and salutations, folks. I have a game for you today on Tabula Rasa. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen this map before. This is the 4 versus 4 version. There's a 5 versus 5 that is pretty popular as well. Tons of mass in the center of this map, as well as a little bonus up here on this cliff, and some reclaim right here. Had to find it real quick. And what this sets up is there are 3 reclaim centers here. There is a reclaim center here to branch off for this player. And then there is a reclaim area here that these 2 players can fight over. And you'll notice that this side has to cross the water to get to it. And it is a symmetrical map down the diagonal. This side has to cross the water to get to here. And this is a roughly equal walking time. I think the left side can get to it a little bit quicker, but that is a good advantage to have because there's really not a whole lot else to reclaim on his side. As a quick overview of the map, this is actually really deep water here. You can build navy. Cyber navy is a popular thing to go with on this map because you can walk the Salems out of the water, and then also if you get cruisers up, you can pull air denial over the majority of the map, as well as bombard any positions that have been built up here with cruiser fire. Not saying it is the best way to go, but it has been done, and it makes for an interesting game. Now, we're obviously going to see everybody push to the center due to the amount of mass here. I'm going to have to check the reclaim windows as we go along, because I don't know exactly how much is out here, but you can see there are 4 loyalists in this section alone, along with Tech 2 and Tech 1 tanks. Alright, let's introduce the players, and then we will jump straight into this match, even though we're already 2 minutes in. On the left-hand side, we have Executioner, Morax, Captain Hindsight, and Corwin. A lot of familiar names in this game. On the right-hand side, we have the almighty Voodoo. I am sure just about everybody here knows who that is. Freshie, Kosher, and last but certainly not least, Carlitos. This is a very heavy rank advantage to the right-hand side. We have 2 2K players on the right-hand side and a single 1900 on the left-hand side, but I do know that these guys play together, so they probably chose to take the disadvantage and going to use OP Mumble to make up the gap. Let's wish them luck. Maybe they won't die horribly. Got a nice little bit of early aggression over here. Kosher has sent a flare around the back, hoping to pick up some kills on these engineers, but that is going to be very neatly denied by a Mantis. We have all of the mass disappearing rather rapidly. Executioner making the wise choice to leave his rearmost Rex until he goes and reclaims the front. That will give him a slight advantage. And then down here on the southern side, we are seeing the advantage of being Seraphim. Now, this is actually Sarah versus Sarah, but you can see he was able to bring artillery across the water with him. When you're playing with UEF or Cybran, of course, you have to bring engineers with you to actually build factories and get things going on the other side. And we have, yes, that is 2 versus 1, Kosher and Voodoo out here for Morax, but Kosher is going to run back to his gap. He was double reclaiming with his teammate on this side, hoping to deny some of that early mass to the left side team, and then he is going to calmly come back, zap this engineer, and reclaim all of his own stuff as well. Got an early bomber out for Corwin, hoping that harassment will give him the upper edge, and harassment usually does. Freshie is very calmly taking artillery to the face until he realizes what is happening, and then he is going to flee. I know that everyone loves a good facial cleansing, but I don't think you want to do so with bolts like that. We've got a good bit of aggression from Kosher up here. I think he got factories online a whole lot quicker. Also, Morax took the dive for Tech 2. I am 100% positive that he is anticipating a tac launcher from someone or another. He is getting that Tech 2 engineer online. I am positive that he is going to build tac defense. There it is, tac defense. Going to try not to lose his economy to tac missiles, and that is a good thing to take preventative measures against on this map. And we now have the land spam full swing for just about everyone, seeing enormous amounts of units from all of these guys, and it looks like Freshy is starting to cave a little bit. So many Zooies. I don't think there's many tanks in that mix at all. If there are any, there are not. Not a single tank. He needs to get tanks, because if you go 100% artillery against tanks, the tanks will win, because the tanks can be microed to dodge fire. I do apologize for being a little stopped up. I have my reasons for that, which I may discuss later if there is a dip in the action. Got some Tech 1 units skirting around on all of these little plateaus here. You can see there are avenues of access all over the place. It may look like a choke, but I would not build point defense, because they will just go around the back way. Looking pretty even so far. I'm actually very impressed with the left side's ability to keep up with these two on the right here. Voodoo and Kosher are at the top of the scoreboard, but they have by no means secured a significant lead. Looks like everybody is keeping up pretty well. Captain Hindsight has actually overtaken Kosher. I think this is a good time. Let's slow down a little bit. All of the reclaim numbers should be in, and we can see what these guys did. Voodoo pulling in 7,200. Captain Hindsight, who got Morax got double teamed, pulled in 42. Kosher with 82. Morax the double team with 42. Executioner on 73, 37, 43, and 25. Wow. Corwin definitely lost out on that one. I think Kosher was the highest reclaimer. All told, that looked like somewhere in the vicinity of 50,000 mass, actually. There is a lot of mass to be had, for sure. And we're seeing here the classic example of tanks versus artillery. Tanks taking virtually no losses, darting around left, right, and center, and really not taking a whole lot of arty fire. And we're finally starting to see some tanks and some Tech 2 point defense. This is bad right here. This is why Seraphim point defense honestly is not the best. You can see how low the rise is here, but somehow that point defense is still striking the ground in front of it. Seraphim Tech 2 point defense is just so low at its base that it cannot overcome terrain. You really have to get down and look at the side and make sure, well, do I want to build this point defense here, or do I want to move to the right 5 feet to get a little bit more elevation? And sometimes that can be the difference between beasting a point defense creep and absolutely losing against some Tech 1 spam. Carlitos is a bit brave on his upgrade here. He is very far out front. Although I guess he does have enough units with him to overcome pretty much anything thrown at him. I clicked the wrong name. That was Carlitos that we were looking for. He probably has the tac launcher. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Every single time on this map, someone will go tac launcher. It is inevitable. It is a fact of life, and you must take precautions. Seeing some tats coming in. Voodoo actually has a Tech 3 mass extractor already. That is very impressive. And not good. Corwin has finally lost his foothold over here. So that means that Freshy will have total access to all of this land down here, all of these mass extractors, and he will have an overwhelming advantage, because to get back across the water, Corwin will have to establish a foothold. Not a good place to be at all. And I keep seeing tax launch, but I am not entirely sure where those were coming from. I will have to keep looking. Alrighty. Drops. Nicely done. Dropping some Mantis over here on this ledge. He is going to be behind enemy lines, securing air. taking out all of these bombers to give himself a better run of it. Tech 2 units coming out as quickly as they can be pushed. But these Mantis are actually going to do a surprising amount of damage considering that they are only Mantis, killing off tons of build power, all of those engineers. That was actually a nice little strike and a good distraction. And these guys are going to hit this dead end right here. Lose a couple of mass extractors, but nothing too devastating. Executioner is still in a fairly good position. Captain Hindsight currently pulling the most mass, 128 income, and that 130 is a solid income. That is not fluctuating, and that is impressive. He has ecoed the ever-living daylights out of his base. He's got 3 Tech 3 mass extractors. My goodness, you'd think he was saving up for a rainy day. Perhaps we will see a Tech 4 sooner or later. Preferably sooner, because Tech 4s are awesome to watch. Anytime you have gigantic fighting robots on the battlefield, it is a good time to be had by all. That is where the attacks were coming from. Captain Hindsight had tack launcher on his commander, and he was firing into Voodoo's base. Nicely done on his part. I keep getting Captain Hindsight and Morak slightly mixed up. I was thinking that Captain Hindsight was Cybran, so of course he could not have the tack launcher, but I did not realize that he was Seraphim. Alright, he has slowed down slightly. Quick personal story. I know that a lot of you guys noticed a couple of weeks back, especially, that I was very sick for a while, and I've had sinus problems for about 2 months now, and I finally found out why. As it turns out, my apartment has been invaded by mold, which apparently has been growing out of sight and dumping spores into the air and doing all kinds of nasty things to my head. And yeah, it has just now manifested itself in the form of a little green spot on the wall over there and a little spot on the carpet. So hopefully by the end of this week I will either be in a different apartment or the problem will be fixed, and then maybe my sinuses will clear up, my head will feel better, and I can do a bit better job of entertaining you guys. When you have a muddled head, it's kind of hard to keep your words straight and to not cough into the microphone, and I just appreciate you guys being patient with me over the last little bit. Sad to start a YouTube channel on that kind of note, but I think it has gone fairly well. Alrighty, let's go ahead and dive back into this personal story. Let's separate life from video games. Here comes a Monkey Lord. That has not been scouted. I do not think. There has not been a scout over that. So this is going to be a total surprise to the right side team, and as we all know, surprise is the best weapon in a strategy game. Hopefully that Monkey Lord can be shoved up somewhere where it can do some significant damage. It would be nice to take out either Voodoo or Kosher. That would be the best possible outcome of this push. If you can eliminate one of the 2K players and one of the ecos, you have a significantly better chance of taking everything out. That does have a couple of Tech 3 tanks with it. It's going to do very well to push. So many Oblivion turrets, though. They're just pounding down on that Monkey Lord. It did pick up a veterancy. It is quite tough. Going to drop a Tech 3 P-Jet and pick up another vet. Mercy's coming in now. That thing is pushing straight into the base. Voodoo did get to the back, and he is throwing up even more Oblivions, running for his life. He's going to need to land 3 overcharges on that thing to kill it. More than that, it picked up another veterancy. Here comes some more Mercies. That Monkey Lord is going to take off after him after demolishing that base. That is probably the most damage wreaked by a Monkey Lord that I have seen in a long time. The Monkey Lord is not a particularly strong unit. And down goes Voodoo. King of the match has been dethroned. The highest ranking player is now out of the game. All of that experience is gone. I am sure he will still be here directing actions from the rear lines, but he no longer has an ACU in this fight. And this Monkey Lord is turning into an object, a terror to behold for the right-hand team. It is full vet now, I believe. Let's zip over here and look at it. Yes, that is full vet, no more health bonuses, but that is 67 health and 67,000 health and an impressive amount of regen, and it is just going to proceed to burn through all of these units like it's not even there. Bouncers backing this thing up. I love the addition of Tech 3 mobile anti-air, and this is one of the reasons why. You actually have a viable option for breaking into the back lines and not losing your units to mercies and gunships and all kinds of other stuff like that. Now there are 2 bases down. It is 4 ecos versus 2 ecos, and we have another Monkey Lord coming in on the north side. There is a Yathatha started, but I seriously doubt Carlitos is going to be able to get that thing. And a GC coming to rescue him. Kosher was able to get a GC up. Maybe it can get there in time to save that ACU. Freshy was transporting across right here, and he got zapped by those ASF. There's his transport down there. He saw that his time had come, and he decided he was going to try to do some damage to that base, but it was not meant to be. Corsair Snipe coming in for Carlitos. That is going to end his game, and now Kosher is all by himself. He has a GC, he has a crap load of reclaim, but the question is, does he have the APM and the standing to make this move and actually succeed at it? I don't really see how he can. We've already got Tech 3 tanks pushing up from the south, and that lightning storm, there it is gone. That was preventing reclaim briefly. Got this GC pushing across, but it's going to have to fight its way through air. Kosher does not have, well, it looks like he actually does have a roughly equal amount of ASF, but little bit of a bad entry into that ASF war, and no, he is going to pull it out. The next wave of ASF came through, and he does have enough now to clean up those Corsairs. Unfortunately, that GC is toast. Even though Corsairs individually are not super duper strong, once you get that many of them in an area, it is hard to deny them. GC versus Yathatha, about the most even T4 match there is, but then you throw in a couple of Autumns and a Monkey Lord. GC has no chance whatsoever. Harbinger's coming in trying to zap that Monkey Lord, but it is going to take a dive into the water, and those Harbies are going to move back towards home base, the cover of those Oblivions, and hopefully live to fight another day. Got Morax moving in over here. He is reclaiming like a madman, building these mass extractors over here, and generally having a good time while Kosher is away. Not really a whole lot to deny him his space down there. And we've got engineers coming across here to reclaim. Those engineers are idle. Perhaps Kosher is overflowing. He is not. Probably has another project in the works. That is a Caesar. I mispronounced it again. Everybody has been really on my case about how I pronounce that, and you guys are right. It is Tsar. It is derived from a Russian word, I would be sure. So I will pronounce it correctly for everyone's sakes, the sake of your sanity. I will not take you past the brink of insanity. I will say Tsar. That Tsar I don't think is going to get finished, though, because that is going to be a bottom out of the mass. Yes, it is. And kaboom goes the ACU. Victory for the left-hand side. I'm actually not entirely sure. Was that strat bombers? I did not see any coming in. I do apologize for that, folks. Like I said, I am a little muddle-headed. I probably zoned out for a second there. That was either a Control K in the face of 3 T4s coming in, or that was a strat bomber barrage. Either way, there was only one way that game could have ended, so that is that. Alrighty, guys, that is another cast under the belt. Fairly high-ranking one and very solid gameplay. I hope you guys saw something that you liked and possibly something you can copy, a build that you can use. That is going to wrap it up for this game and for me. I will catch you next time.